How's it guys, this is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now firstly I just wanted to give a shout out to the last video I uploaded. If you guys have not checked it out, I'll put a link and a card on the video right now. It's basically a video where I compared the best FPL options for the upcoming season and put them against each other, and with stats hopefully came out with a winner at the end of it. I think that this video was quite informative and hopefully it will serve you well in making your upcoming draft teams and also for your final Game Week 1 team. Hopefully this video also serves you in that pursuit. In this video I'll be looking at the best defensive and attacking teams for the upcoming FPL season. We'll be looking at which teams you can probably rely on for attacking and defensive returns. Before that, I just wanted to give you an update for this week. I'll probably be creating my updated draft video towards the end of this week and also hopefully streaming after that. I know what you're thinking, I've never streamed before, but we did do a little bit of a test stream thanks to those of you who did join that. We just kind of wanted to see if the stream was of a good quality and if it was smooth and the output was what I desired. I just didn't really want to stream for the sake of it and I wanted it to be worth it for you guys. So again, please follow me on Twitter at DayvyFPL for streaming updates and basically when I'm going to be going live. And for general FPL updates, I do tweet on that account quite a lot and it'll only increase from now till the start of Game Week 1. So before we get into the video, I just wanted to give you a reminder about our league code. The league is titled Dayvy vs the World, and this is basically our community league where you guys can put yourself up against me, probably beat me, but maybe not. I changed the font of the code, as even though I did say it is not a 1, people still entered the I as a 1, so I've just put it in lowercase. Hopefully there'll be no mistakes now. So please join this league if you have not. Thanks to those of you who have. We've got quite a couple people in there, and yeah, I appreciate it if you did join, and I think it will be quite useful to you to kind of see other people's teams in this little community we have. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Firstly, I just want to talk about teams that are both defensive and attacking options for the start of the season. There's 3 teams in total, the first of them being the champions Manchester City. With these teams, you basically can triple up or double up. I think the double up is a little bit more realistic for all these 3 teams, as you'll see that most of these teams have pretty expensive forwards and defenses. So with Man City, you obviously have your attacking options of Aguero and Sterling. You could opt for someone like Bernardo Silva or David Silva, but I'd probably stick with Sterling or Aguero. And that is unfortunately going to result in you probably only being able to afford one of the 2. You can probably get both of them, but this whole talk that we've had throughout this pre-season for FPL is that you probably are only going to be having 2 premium options. Mine are currently Sterling and Salah, but yours could be different. You could also opt for Aguero, Kane, Aubameyang, or someone like that. So talking about Manchester City, I personally will have a defender and an attacker from the side. They are a great side and they have proved their consistency throughout these previous seasons. You can rely on them for both defensive and attacking returns, I do believe. Fixtures are also pretty good. They have Spurs at home, which in my opinion is not a bad fixture, and then Everton away. And when you're talking about Everton, probably out of that top 8 side, they are about 8 or 7. So not the epitome of the Premier League, but they should offer them a good game, but then it could be a 0-0 draw as well. So your defensive options should return as well. So I'd be looking at this team to triple up, and you, as I said, you can rely on basically the whole team from the goalkeeper to the centre forward. The next team we're going to talk about is Liverpool. They are also a defensive and attacking side. You can basically opt for any of their players and they should get returns. I know what you're thinking when you look at the fixture list. They do have a couple of bad fixtures towards the end of this 10 game week span, with Man United away and Spurs at home. They also have Arsenal at home, which in my opinion is not a bad fixture, but Chelsea away is also a little bit annoying. The nice thing about the Liverpool options is that they are expensive, so you could transfer them out towards the end of this run quite easily for replacements. As I said, they are expensive, so that is one of the negatives. You're probably going to be opting for a defender and an attacker. Attacker probably between Salah and Mane, and defensive returns will probably come from Van Dijk, Robertson, or Trent Alexander-Arnold. Could even double up, but with this run, you might not be wanting 2 of their defenders with those tough fixtures in mind. The in-between fixtures are quite good, especially their starting fixture against Norwich, which makes them look like very good captaincy options for Game Week 1. With Liverpool, you can opt for anyone, as I said, but because of the expensive prices, you're probably going to struggle to fit them in your team. The third team and final team for defensive and attacking returns is Everton. This is a team I probably will be tripling up on. Their fixtures are simply just too good to ignore. As you can see, they simply have one tough fixture there, Man City at home. But even as I said, that is a fixture at home and they could put up a fight against Man City. But even with that fixture minus, you have 9 very nice fixtures there to kind of fill your teams up and have them in your starting lineups for all of them. They start with Crystal Palace away, which isn't the best in the world, but after that they have some very nice green fixtures, as you can see. The nice thing about Everton assets are that they are a lot cheaper than the previous 2 teams I just spoke about, and you probably can double up on their defenders quite easily as they come in at 6 mil and below. Attacking options, I'd be looking at Richarlison or Sigurdsson, as their centre forward position is still a little bit lackluster and we don't really know who's going to be the starting centre forward. Probably will be Calvert-Lewin, but he does not, I do not desire him as an FPL asset, and I think Sigurdsson and Richarlison will fill that attacking return slot perfectly. Defenders, I'd look at Digne or Coleman, and you could also look at Pickford at the back, but when you compare Pickford's price of 5.5 to Coleman's 5.5, Coleman comes out on top every time for me just because of his attacking threat. So Everton, I probably will be tripling up on them as they are quite a bit cheaper than Man City and Liverpool players. Now firstly, we're going to be talking about some defensive options. I've tried to highlight some cheaper teams here for you guys, as I know that this season's budget, as it always is very hard to deal with. With the Liverpool and Man City players coming in quite expensive, we're going to be looking at these budget options that could hopefully fill your team with some good, nice budget enablers. So the first team we're going to be looking at is Burnley. Their fixtures aren't the best in the world. They do have a little bit of a nice run from game week 5 to 9. But as I said, Arsenal away is not the worst in the world, but the Liverpool at home fixture could be quite tricky, but they do play Liverpool and Chelsea at home. And Burnley are stereotypically quite a park the bus team and quite hard to break down. So at home they could be fired up and raring to go against Liverpool and Chelsea, so they could come out with a clean sheet, but you're kind of betting on the odds there a little bit. But without those 2 fixtures, they still have a nice little bit of a run there and a couple of home fixtures to slip into. In terms of Burnley options, I'd probably look at Taylor or their goalkeepers Heaton. The centre forwards are quite desirable as well, but not as desirable as other budget options in terms of maybe the Bournemouth or Wolves options up front. So I'd probably be only looking at the defensive options. As I said, Taylor, they have however just made a fullback signing, so I don't know how that's going to impact him. But Taylor, Heaton, or one of their centre backs could be a good option. The next team is Chelsea, who are also quite expensive, but I think defensively they are quite worth it. I think a lot of people are overlooking them as they do play Manchester United in the first fixture, but after that the only tough fixture is Liverpool at home, but again it is a home fixture, so you probably are looking at a draw in that one, and their options would probably be Azpilicueta. I would opt for him out of all of them. You could go for David Luiz, but the interesting option is Emerson. Frank Lampard has apparently come out and said that he should be the starting fullback for Chelsea, and coming in at 5.5, that is a very good option in my opinion. The thing about fullbacks is they do offer that attacking return slot, and I think that Azpilicueta should do quite well if Emerson does come out and not start. Azpilicueta for me, or you could go for David Luiz. You just got to monitor the injury situation at the centre-back positions, as between David Luiz, Rudiger and Christensen, they pretty much get injured quite a lot. So as I said, defensively they're looking quite good, with only 2 tough fixtures in my opinion out of the first 10. I think they are quite overlooked, as we are all looking at Man City and Liverpool defenders, and even Everton defenders, so if you want to kind of look for a little bit of a differential, you could go in for them. Attacking wise, I do think that these are great fixtures for the attacking sides of Chelsea, but I just don't know who to go for. We have a little bit of a question mark around Pulisic. He has had his price released, and we are always wondering whether Giroud will be the starting striker with Batshuayi and Abrahams in the wings. So if Chelsea can come out in pre-season and give us a defined starting 11, I'll be happy to bring one of their attackers into my side, as they do come in quite cheap for a top 6 team. Next, we're going to be looking at West Ham United as our final defensive side. I know that West Ham don't have the characteristic of being a good defensive side, but they are very cheap. Fabianski comes in at 5 mil and he's always offering a lot of save points, but you could offer for Diop or Balbuena as a good defensive option. I don't really think we're going to be playing these players that much in our center back or wing back positions of our FPL teams, as we do have a lot of better defensive options in my opinion. But they do come in cheap, so if one of your players does come in injured, you could easily switch them in and they will be happy to get you some points, I believe. West Ham do start off quite rough with a Man City at home fixture. I don't think they'll be getting much out of that, but after that they have Man United at home and again Everton away. In between they have some nice fixtures, and I think that if you're going to be looking for a cheap enabler, I would look at the West Ham defense. Next up, I know a little bit of a controversial one, Manchester United. I think that attacking wise, if they can kind of bounce back as they did when Solskjaer first signed for the club, I do believe that they'll be getting some nice attacking returns. Manchester United don't have the worst attackers in the world, and it's going to be a little bit of speculation around Lukaku and Pogba that kind of fulfills my trust in them. If they do come out and sign some very nice players, I could be looking at them, but right now they're a little bit of a hit or miss team, so you could offer them as a differentials for your FPL side, but other than that I will probably be steering away from them. I just wanted to include them in this roundup of the best defensive and attacking team fixtures, as they do have some very nice fixtures. As I said with Chelsea, they do start off quite badly, but then they move on. And the thing to note about all the top 6 fixtures in the side, they do play them at home. And I know that Old Trafford fires up the Man United team, and hopefully it will put some fire under their bellies and they will score some very nice goals while keeping clean sheets. I think I've opted for them attacking wise, as I don't trust them defensively. They have signed Aaron Wan-Bissaka, which is in my opinion a great signing, but I do think they need another centre back to fulfill their defensive potential. So looking at these lineups, they don't have the worst fixtures in the world, but I think only time will tell whether this Manchester United team will rise to the challenge and hopefully fulfill our FPL desires. So the last team I'm going to be talking about for attacking returns is going to be Bournemouth. I think that they have some of the best fixtures on offer. They do have a Man City at home fixture, but as I said, this is a home fixture and the home teams sometimes do well. And then they have an Arsenal away fixture, which as I said, in my opinion, is not that bad at all. They do have some nice fixtures in here against some newly promoted teams with Sheffield United and Norwich at home, and then Aston Villa away in game week 2. Put in that some other fixtures like Southampton and West Ham at home, and you have some very nice attacking options from Bournemouth. I'd be looking at King, Wilson, Fraser, or even David Brooks as a little bit of a cheaper alternative to Fraser. I think that they're going to offer some great returns attacking wise, and I can see maybe some defensive returns, but I don't trust Bournemouth's defense. As I said with the Manchester United defense, I just simply think that they are a better attacking side than defensive side, so I would opt for the attacking side of the team rather than the defensive side. So that's basically going to wrap up this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I took the first 10 game weeks as a kind of realistic starting point for this video. I think that after the 10th game week, we're probably all going to be using our wildcard. You might have even used it before that. I think with the wildcard, it's a little bit hard to predict, but I thought the first 10 game weeks was a good starting point to kind of plan for the future. You could go for the first 6 and play an early wildcard, but I think that the 10 game week span makes sense, and hopefully we'll have some great fixtures for our FPL teams. As I said, please follow me on Twitter at DayvyFPL if you want some FPL tips, and hence hopefully I'll be dropping some over there, and also be uploading when I upload a video or when I go live on YouTube. So please subscribe as well if you are new or enjoying this FPL content and are hyped for the upcoming season, and don't forget to like the video as that picture says. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and please comment down below if you have any questions or would like me to cover anything specifically for the upcoming season. But otherwise, this has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers.